Each episode, well, Grammer is about to make a foray into London's West End in one of the quirkiest musicals of the past 50 years. He'll be singing the lead role in Man of La Mancha, a comic take on Cervantes' classic Don Quixote. Co-starring Nicholas Lyndhurst and soprano Daniela Denise, it's a tale of triumph over adversity, what isn't? I caught up with Kelsey during rehearsals.
This is my quest, to follow that star, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause.
It is one heck of a song which you have to belt out night after night after night. Now, we know you sing a bit, but was that kind of slightly intimidating?
This one does require a certain serious mindset, because it needs to be respected. It's the kind of song that needs to be sung as though it's a famous song, and yet you need to put your sort of initial mark on it. And I think we're going to achieve that nicely.
I would say that all great musicals, and we've got Company on at the moment in London, the early Sondheim and so forth, they've got a moral of some kind. So what would you say the moral or the story is?
It's just don't give up. I guess it's to dream an impossible dream. That's its compelling feature, I suppose, which is we owe to Cervantes and his great novel. But the musical and the success of the musical, I think, sort of distills down to that one song.
To reach the unreachable star.
This is more about Cervantes than it is really about Don Quixote, the novel.
Yes, pleading his case through the story of, the idea that you still have to dream something impossible in the face of extraordinary odds and endure. There was a big price to pay by speaking truth to power back then.
Absolutely. You have been described as a tiny speck of red in the universal blue of Hollywood. You're a rare Republican.
Yes.
You've been open about your enthusiasm for Trump. And have you felt in any sense that's kind of damaged your career in that Democrat heartland of Hollywood?
Well, honestly, I like to think better of my peers than to think that they would hold that against me in terms of talent. I mean, you hire an actor, you don't hire his politics. But, there may be some people who have done that. But
so you're quite strong on the anti-abortion side, pro-gun and all the rest of it, and pro-Trump.
I'm pro-common sense, is what I'm for.
You see, over here, pro-gun and pro-common sense are often seen as different things.
Yes, well, I understand why, but of course the sort of the American psyche relies upon self-reliance, and a lot of that involves the right to defend life, limb, and property, and that's where the gun right thing comes in. And of course, it is the Second Amendment, so it's a part of it's in the DNA of our whole country. So.
Do you find people come at you in a semi-professional situation when you're talking about politics and so on? Because certainly here with Brexit, families, communities, everyone is arguing with everybody else all the time. And I get the sense in America it's very much the same way.
There is a kind of hysteria about disagreement right now, which I think is unhealthy. I think if you take the opportunity to really listen to someone and let them make their points, logic will diffuse that. But logic's not particularly popular right now.
Respect and empathy. You've said yourself you wish Britain would just get on with Brexit.
Well, I just thought it's time. Once you've made a decision, once the vote's done, it's time to sort of pull up your sleeves and get the work done. So we'll see. I don't know. Obviously, there are some people that they wish they had voted, so maybe they're going to vote again. And that's we have this issue in America too. It's sort of like, if you don't get the result you want, let's just keep voting and we'll see until we get it.
Well, in Brexit divided Britain and everywhere else around the world, you are in the corner of the room all the time as Frasier.
I took action, Russell, and you can too. Move, change, do something. If it's a mistake, do something else. Will you do that, Russell? Will you? Russell? I think we lost him.
No, we cut to the news 30 seconds ago.
As the great psych in Frasier, the great shrink, do you think you've done anything to sort of help change attitudes to mental health around the world?
My goal when I first took the role as a radio psychiatrist was to actually make sure that he seemed fair, that he really did listen, and that he offered advice that was coming from a loving place. And if that's what the world of psychology has become, then I will tip my hat and say, well done.
Kelsey Grammer, it's been a privilege talking to you. Thanks so
Thank you
very much indeed.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Kelsey Grammer there, and Man from La Mancha is at the Coliseum in London's West End from the 26th of April until the 8th of June.